Talk to me. wsRadio.com.
Welcome to Las Vegas is Talking with your host, the voice of Southern Nevada, John Donovan.
Hey, this is John Donovan, and we are back live from a remote broadcast from the wonderful La Focaccia Italian Bistro and now Deli. That's because the owner of this wonderful place, Jaicamo Jarcone, has just enlarged the restaurant by, I guess, almost 100% space, put in this wonderful deli, beautiful, beautiful desserts. And right at the far end of the restaurant, when you first walk in, there is a case there. And that case is filled with gelato ice cream. Now, for any of you who have been to Italy, you know how wonderful gelato can be. And people eat it for breakfast. They eat it for lunch. They eat it for dinner. It's part of their lives. It's part of my life. I just met two gentlemen about 30 seconds ago that are across the table from me here right now. Just put headphones on them. And I think you folks have something to do with gelato. Is that correct? Which one of you wants to introduce themselves? Please.
Well, this is Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an old timer here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I had arrived in 1962. And I worked at Dunes Hotel for only 31 years.
31 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and I was wondering why in Las Vegas, in America, at the time, we did not have a wonderful gelato that for us Italians is such something.
It didn't exist.
So, with that thing in mind, I took a trip back to Italy, my hometown in Naples, and I went to have my first course learning of how to make gelato. And when I came back in 1980, I started my first adventure, and in fact, last month we just had the 30 years anniversary of our factory with my son Adriano, who's sitting next to me.
Wow! Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So 30 years at the Sands?
No, Dunes.
30 years at the Dunes, and now 30 years anniversary.
And then I was 5 years with Debbie Reynolds.
Oh, my gosh.
Debbie Reynolds.
What a life. So let me ask you, how do you start producing gelato in Las Vegas? I mean, it had to be an amazing...
It is an amazing... It really takes quite some time to describe, to be able to make gelato artigianale, because it's a very important word, this word artigianale, which means artisan. In other words, you just do not put things together with pre-mixes or what almost everybody does these days. You have to have love for your profession, passion, challenge, ambition, and persistence. And it took me a long time to introduce my product, which I make from scratch.
You know, I mentioned to you just a few seconds that you and I were chatting that my son lives in Italy, and he's lived in Europe for over 20 years, mostly in Italy. And I would be walking around, maybe like in Lucca or somewhere, and I'd be going to get a gelato, and he'd go, "No, Dad, don't buy that. No. The good one's down the street."
Right.
So what you're describing is there really is a difference.
There is a difference because everybody makes a little different.
Yeah.
But the main thing that these days, unfortunately, everybody wants to make a shortcut, and
cheapest way.
And they by just buying premixes and opening containers, cans, and reading instruction and follow. There's no longer an art.
Yeah.
It is what...
I have a feeling your dad keeps you busy. Would that be
Yeah, well, he, nowadays we are basically the research and development part of the business, and we are always creating new flavors and new ideas. And me, I'm a local. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and I was pretty much there from the beginning. And I was 12 years old, and we started off in the back of this little Brazilian chicken place in Commercial Center.
Oh my God!
And it wasn't a business yet; it was a lab. And I was 12 years old, and my dad put a big knife in my hand and said, "Cut the cantaloupe for the cantaloupe sorbet."
That was the start.
And that's where the start was.
I'm going to apologize. Time goes by so fast. What is the name of the business again?
The company is called Italcream.
Okay, and how do people get information about you? Do you have a website?
We do have a website. It is www.italcream.com.
And how do you spell that?
ITALCREAM.
Well, if I were to visit your establishment, this is a hint. This is a hint. If I were to come out and see your operation, you're making the product here, is that correct?
Yeah, we've been in the same location since 1980.
Oh man!
Where we are located right next door to the Gold Coast on Valley View and Viking, and we welcome people who are interested in product to show. We're proud of our product. That when you walk in, you see all the raw material.
Wow.
Out, and then in a whole processing plant that it proves that we do everything from A to Z from scratch.
You know, we're sitting here now in front of 4 microphones in a very typical remote setup for radio, but we also have the ability to walk in with just a single mic and a headset and have freedom with no wires. I'll tell you what, I'd love to come out and see that. I have no idea, what goes into producing gelato. It might make a great story for the people.
It does. It wouldn't be the first time that we've been.
I'm sure.
But it'd be the first time on radio. I'll tell you what.
But we have a man who's videoing us right now too. So you're going to be on YouTube here in the next 24 hours with all of this as well. So I assume if we did that, we would probably have to sample some product just to see what it tasted like, wouldn't we? I'd be forced to do that, wouldn't I?
You might have to try that.
Gosh, this is great. We've only got 30 seconds left. I can't believe the time has flown by like this, but I've got to tell you, it's just wonderful talking to 2 guys that have a business. You're here now for 30 years that doesn't have a salesperson. That's got to tell me that people that do business with you are doing business with the right kind of company. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And I really do hope we hook up. Yeah. And I'll just tell you, I'd love to come out and see your operation. It would be so much fun.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so once again, this is John Donovan, and we are live on a remote broadcast today from La Focaccia Italian Restaurant, which is located on southeastern, just north of the 215. And we are broadcasting live on wsRadio.lv.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.